Frequencies podcast on Dreqo FM.
Hello and welcome to the Unfiltered Frequency on Dreqo FM. I'm Dreqo and this is my very first podcast episode. I'm really excited to finally branch out from creating AI-generated music to share more about myself, my thoughts, and my interests. If you've been following the channel, you know I love experimenting with AI music, but this podcast is my chance to expand beyond that and explore a variety of topics. So what can you expect here? Honestly, a little bit of everything. AI music, trucking stories, gaming, and discussions about the paranormal and the weird, like ghosts, Bigfoot, conspiracy theories, or UFOs. I'll also dive into some thought-provoking takes on life and the world around us, touching on philosophy like Stoicism, my perspective on religion as an atheist, and my libertarian views on politics. This is all about keeping things interesting and building a community where we can connect over shared passions. Let me start by telling you a bit about why I'm doing this. I got into AI music because I was inspired by creators like obscure Vinyl and Lil Padro, who made really fun and creative AI-generated songs. While they focus more on comedy, I wanted to explore a wider range of styles and moods, from rock and country to synthwave and EDM. I've always been drawn to the idea of seeing how far AI can take creativity. My goal has always been to create songs that I'd personally enjoy. That's how I decide whether a song is ready to share. If it's something I'd put on my own playlist while driving, then I know it's worth sharing with the world. One of my favorite songs, for example, is Miles Back to You. It's a trucking song inspired by my own experiences of being out on the road, missing my wife, and counting down the miles until I'm home. That song is personal to me because it captures a feeling that a lot of truckers, and really anyone who spent long periods of time away from their loved ones, can relate to. It was one of the first AI songs I made, and it still holds a special place in my heart. As much as I love making music, though, I've realized that it's not always the best way for people to really get to know me. You can enjoy a song without knowing the story behind it or who created it. That's where this podcast comes in. It's my chance to open up, share more about who I am, and dive into the kinds of conversations you can't always have through music. Whether it's sharing thoughts about trucking, philosophy, or even just reflecting on life, I want this podcast to be a space of meaningful conversation and connection. I also want to see it as a way to stretch my creativity even further. Just like with music, I want to experiment here, test out ideas, explore topics I care about, and maybe even inspire others to think about things in a new way. That's really what this podcast is about, bringing together creativity, curiosity, and community. That brings me to something that's really important to me, the inspiration behind this podcast and the challenges I know I'll face. One of the big inspirations of this podcast is the classic radio show Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell. I always admired how he wasn't afraid to tackle any topic, whether it was UFOs, the paranormal, politics, religion, philosophy, or something totally unexpected. There was a kind of magic in the way he made every conversation feel engaging and meaningful, no matter how out there it seemed. That open, anything-goes approach is something I want to bring here, but in my own way. I want to keep it casual, conversational, and open to exploring a variety of ideas without feeling boxed in. I'm not trying to copy his format exactly. I don't think I'll have a call-in show, for instance, but I would love to make this podcast interactive in other ways. I want listeners to write in, suggest topics for me to cover, or even share their own views so I can discuss them on the podcast, whether it's a story about a personal experience, a take on current events, or a question about something like AI, trucking, or philosophy. I want to hear from you. This isn't just me talking, it's about starting conversations. That said, I know this is going to be a challenge for me. Thinking off the cuff isn't my strong suit, and I tend to stumble over my words when I'm trying to organize my thoughts. Plus, as an introvert, communication doesn't come naturally to me. But honestly, that's part of the reason I'm doing this. I want to push myself out of my comfort zone and get better at expressing my ideas. I also hope it encourages anyone listening who might struggle with the same things to know that it's okay to start where you are and grow from there. If you're here for the ride, I hope we can grow together. Me learning to communicate better, and you getting something meaningful, entertaining, or thought-provoking out of these episodes. It's going to be a process, but I think that's what makes it exciting. Let's see where this journey takes us. So as I wrap up this first episode, I want to share a bit about what success looks like for me and what I hope this podcast becomes. When I think about what I want to achieve with this podcast, sure, it would be amazing to build a big audience, but more than that, I want to create a respectful and engaging community, a space where people can feel comfortable sharing their thoughts and experiences. I want listeners who are genuinely curious, open to hearing different perspectives, and willing to contribute to the conversation in meaningful ways. This isn't about telling people what to think or convincing anyone to agree with me. It's about exploring ideas together, challenging assumptions, and hopefully sparking new ways of thinking. For me, success isn't just measured in numbers, it's about connection. I'd rather have a smaller, engaged audience that values thoughtful discussion than a massive following that's just here for the drama or surface-level content. Whether it's AI music, trucking, stories, gaming, or even paranormal, I want this to be a place where we can dig a little deeper, share a laugh, and maybe learn something new along the way. I also want this podcast to be a space where we can balance lighthearted fun with serious topics. One episode might be about the creative process behind AI songs, and the next could dive into philosophical questions about life, technology, or even freedom and individualism. Success for me means creating something that reflects the variety of interests and passions I bring to the table, and finding an audience that resonates with that mix. At the end of the day, my goal is to make this podcast a space that adds value to people's lives, whether it's giving you something interesting to think about, making you laugh, or simply keeping you company on a long drive. I hope this becomes something you look forward to, and if you're willing to join me on this journey, I think we're going to have a great time figuring it out together. Thank you so much for tuning into this first episode of the Unfiltered Frequencies podcast on Dreqo FM. I know it's probably shorter than most podcasts, but hey, this is just the beginning. I'm excited to see where this journey takes us, and I hope you'll stick around as we explore more together. If you'd enjoyed this and want to get to know me, the guy behind the music, and hear more about my life, experiences, and ideas, be sure to subscribe to Dreqo FM. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment letting me know the topics you'd like to tackle in the future episodes. Whether it's AI, trucking stories, gaming, or even something out of left field like Bigfoot sightings or philosophical questions, I'm open to hear it all. This podcast isn't just about me, it's about creating something we can build together. Before I go, I want to say how much I appreciate you taking the time to listen. Starting something new like this can feel a little intimidating, but knowing there are people out there who are curious and open to connecting makes it worth it. So whether you're here for the music, the stories, or just to hang out, thank you. It means a lot. Alright, that's it for me today. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Until next time, thanks for being here, stay awesome, and I'll talk to you soon.
I wake up with the sunrise rolling down this highway. Another town, another day, but my heart's always straight. I see your face in the rear view, hear your voice in the wind, and every mile that separates us brings me back to you again. Oh, I miss you, darling, more than words can say. Counting down the hours till I'm home to stay. These roads may be my living, but your love is my life. And every mile I travel brings me closer to your life. From dusty truck stops to neon lights in the night, I carry you with me, my love. You're my guiding light. through days that turn to weeks and months that seem so long. It's your memory that keeps me strong, keeps me hanging on. Oh, I miss you, darling, more than words can say. Counting down the hours till I'm home to stay. These roads may be my living, but your love is my life. And every mile I travel brings me closer to your light. I wish I could be home now to hold you close and tight, but I gotta keep on driving in the long, lonesome night. I'm working hard to make the money so we can live our dream, but it's your love that fuels this fire and keeps my spirit keen. Oh, I miss you, darling, more than words can say. Counting down the hours till I'm home to stay. These roads may be my living, but your love is my life. And every mile I travel brings me closer to your light. So until that day I'm back, just know I'm thinking of you. Every mile, every memory, my love remains true. I'll keep on trucking down this road until I'm in your arms, and then I'll hold you close, my love, safe from all the harm. Oh, I miss you, darling, more than words can say. Counting down the hours till I'm home to stay. These roads may be my living, but your love is my life. And every mile I travel brings me closer to your light.